Hey out there in YouTube land. I hope you're having an awesome day. So I'm in Keansburg, New Jersey. I'm squinting because it's so sunny out here. Let me show you the view behind me. You're gonna have to zoom in, but that's Manhattan over there. I always get confused as to the land on the other side of the bay. I think that might be Staten Island. And then you got water behind that, and then you have Manhattan over there. And I think that's the Verrazano Bridge over there. But anyway, this is Keansburg Beach. I said in previous videos, when I was a kid, no one wanted to come to Union Beach or Keansburg to go to the beach. Well, now it's a different story. We're in the middle of the week. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's still a couple people out here. You see that building behind me? It's like the anchor store in a mall. Like they built that building and they're hoping, crossing fingers, that's going to take off and more people are going to come in here, more developers, and they're going to build up some condos and make this place nice. Let's see what happens. I got mixed feelings about whether or not this is going to happen. But anyway, back to why I'm here. So I just looked at a house and I called the realtor. It's a house that is lifted already. First question I asked her was, did the man or woman run out of money? And she said no, he just doesn't want to come back here. He lives in Philadelphia. I don't know if I believe that. But I'm going to take you for a quick outside tour. On the listing it says don't walk the property and don't go inside the house. I'm going to try to find that. This is the street that it's on. So I'm on the beach. This is the street and it's down about, you could probably see it. It's got the green on the side, on the right hand side down the street. This is the view from this main road here. If you look down, it's the start of the boardwalk down there. And then you got that berm. This berm, this pile of sand, was very important during Superstorm Sandy. It saved a lot of these houses around here. It still breached it, but unlike Union Beach, it didn't have one. It saved a lot of the houses around here. So I've mentioned flood zones in quite a few videos that I made. Flood zones are kind of tricky, and here the house is already lifted. All the houses around there, well, not all, but most of the houses around there are also lifted, which is a key component to the question whether or not a house has to be lifted. And yes, it has to be lifted. So this house is lifted. You got new construction on the second floor. It looks like new construction, I'm not sure, you tell me. And then the third floor, which is above the cement, looks like it was the existing house. Let me show you. So here we are, we're going down the street. I've had my eye on that sucker, but I don't know what has to be done to that besides lifting it. So up here on the right, with the green siding, nasty looking siding, looks like it's 3 stories, which it is, but they don't consider the bottom 1 story. It's considered 2 stories. That's the house. I'm trying to get up there. Somebody else is looking at it now. So that is the diamond in the rough. Next to it is a nice house. And behind there, I asked the realtor what has to happen with that house. And she said so far she thinks it has to be demoed. However, you know my thoughts on demoing a house. Only if absolutely necessary. So, if you're not familiar with how a house is lifted, it's actually got some like I-beams that go underneath, and then they hydraulically lift it into position. They build the foundation underneath and then settle the house back down onto the foundation. I really don't think it's as complicated as a lot of us think that it is. However, I'm not familiar with it, so I usually stay away from houses that have to be lifted. Because what you have to take into consideration is the utilities as well. You know, the furnace, the water heater, the plumbing, the electric, and things like that. That all has to be new in there. So that adds a big expense. Then you have to have an engineer involved as far as is the foundation going to support the new weight. You have to have an architect involved. You got your town in the business. You know. So the reason why I just caught my eye is because it's already lifted. A couple of the questions I asked the realtor is, I imagine the town was along for the ride while this place was getting lifted, and they've already signed off on the lifting and stuff, and she assured me that that's the case. Another question I asked is, does the plans for the house come along with the house? And she is trying to get that from the owner. These are all important questions because if you got the lift already done, That's a big part of this. So now can you treat it as just a renovation? And I say just a renovation, but before I made this video, I sent Tommy the contractor, a picture. And I said, this is one big project. So look, if you live there, you can walk, walking up the street, going to the beach, and oh, there's the beach right there. I have grandiose ideas about being the mayor of one of these small towns on the water, Keansburg or Union Beach, and what I would do. If you're interested, let me know about what plans I would have. But anyway, back to this. So listen, I'm spread out thin. I need that brown house on the market. I don't know if you're watching this, Tom, but I got to get that house on the market. Or at least I got to get the CO on this house, the brown house, so this way I feel comfortable with that. But then I got the Hazlitt Cottage. That's still moving forward. I got an offer on that, but the attorney on the other side is like not responding as fast as I want him to. Does anybody? I doubt it. What else I got? So I got the tree, I'm calling it the tree house in Keansburg. We're supposed to close on that on the 25th, I think. However, I'm pretty much ready to close. I'm waiting for the lawyer on that to send over some documentation. Make a long story short. I'm too spread out. I'm too spread thin, I guess that's the way to say it. To buy another piece of property, I don't think I could do it. I think I got too much cash out there and nothing coming in. So I'd have to look for a partner. You want to be a partner? Is that what you're saying? I was going to say, well, here's an elevator pitch for you. It's going to be like 1 minute. However, I'm really not pitching because if I don't get this deal, I got my hands in a bunch of other stuff. However, I don't like to pass up deals. I look back at years ago when I was out there looking at property and I would have had to scramble to put cash together or to finance them. But I was still out there looking, and every single house that I looked at for the past, like, I don't know, 8 years or so, every one of them have grown in value like crazy. Every one of them would have been a good deal. I guess I'm selling myself right now. Now, all the deals that I got, and I think I think this Keansburg house is going to be deal number 10. I have to look, but I think it's deal number 10 in less than 3 years. And I've been successful on every single house. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm cautious. I have a big cushion I put in there so that it's I'm not going to say you can't lose money, but it would be very hard to lose money. So that's my pitch on me. So this house that I just showed you, just off the top of my head, and this is completely right off the top of my head. It's listed for $150,000. I bet you it's going to go more than that. Let's use numbers as 150 just for the heck of it, because I talked to the realtor, no offers, first day on the market. I don't even know the square feet. Square feet is really important. However, in this case, I'm going to run some numbers, making believe I know the square feet. It's 2 stories, it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's going to be basically new construction. Not really. You know, it's lifted. It's going to be all renovated. It's like 7 houses from the beach. Just off the top of my head, I'm going to say it's 1,600 square feet. And you got that bottom portion that, although it's not living area, it's not considered living area. I mean, that's a big Benny. If I was living there, I would make that into a living space. As soon as you get to CO, you could do that. Let's say we get the house for $150,000, right? Let's say it's another $150,000 for everything. I think that's a generous amount. I was going to say 100, but let's use this. Let's use these numbers. 150 and 150. You're all in at 300,000. How much could you get for that house? Now, there's a lot of factors out there that I don't really know enough about. Can we do something with that back house once we get the CO on the front house? I'm not sure. Let's say we can get 400,000. We're all in for 300,000. The $150,000 budget is taken into consideration. We might have to go up an extra 10 to get the property. We're going to be seeing some unforeseen situations. So you get about $100,000 out there in profit. I think there might even be some more room in there. I'm not sure as far as what the ARV would be on that house, how close it is to the beach, lifted. You know, you wouldn't, I don't think you need any flood insurance because it's so high off the ground. What would you need in order to get into the house, and why I can't get into the house right now because I'm spread so thin? You would probably need to get maximum leverage to borrow as much as you can, have a rehab budget set aside for $150,000. You'd probably need at least $50,000 to get into this deal. So you get into this deal for $50,000. You have a budget set aside for $150,000. And at the end of the day, you make $100,000 profit. Doesn't sound like that big of a deal. Anyone interested?